Hi, if you've been following along with my review for 25-minute speed train, here is my week 5 review, and this is just from someone who has been working on increasing my muscle mass and working on getting stronger the past few years, and we're just finishing up his Lift More program. We had 1 week left, and then everybody was starting this program, so we put that one on pause and went to this one. And the huge difference is it's 25 minutes and it's time under tension, and it's also working on your endurance. I checked my, I know this isn't very accurate. I mean, it's somewhat accurate, but it's not as accurate as actually getting a DEXA scan. That's how you say it. But through my app and everything, it says that I have increased my muscle mass, skeletal muscle by 2 point something, and I have decreased my fat mass by 2 point something, and I have increased my hydration by more than that. And I didn't realize how important that was until I learned why hydration in your muscles is very important for your muscle mass and your muscle growth. So week 5 was terrible. It was so hard, and I don't mean that in like a negative way, but it was so hard. He introduces calls them the dirty mofos, and you do 1 leg day like that, you do 1 arm day like that. And I know yes, he does the 3 and 1, or 1 count and 3 counts. I saw that for week 7 it gets worse. People are talking about how hard week 7 is, and how there was a beta test group, and how they must have been laughing at everybody else complaining about week 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, because 5 was so hard. Again, he says you don't need a tracker, but more than once he says, what were you lifting last week? Can you go heavier? I don't know, because I wasn't writing anything down. He is doing, my understanding is when he filmed these, he did 3 workouts a day, approximately, something like that. And so I gauge what, I try to lift with close to where he's lifting, because I already know he's under muscle fatigue. But I would recommend writing it down, especially if you think you might go through it again. The program, I think, is fabulous. It is, I sweat. That is something that I naturally do. I'm sweating a little bit right now, but I sweat so much. I literally have droplets on the floor when I am doing this program. I love that it's 25 minutes. Now, he recommends you do not double up, but for my friend and I to complete this, we have to double up. So we double up. On Monday, we do upper and lower. I'm worried about this week. But I think week 7 is my understanding. It gets even more difficult. And then we double up with the stretch on another day, because you have a mobility day. And I recommend it. Also, you don't have to use as heavy. So like on the Lift More, I'm lifting and I'm holding as heavy weights as I possibly can on a bunch of these moves. My friend, she doesn't have a bunch of heavy weights, so we have to go to the gym, especially for leg days. We got up to, we were doing 45s pretty good on the chest presses, and then we even did 50s one day. There's no way in the world that I can do close to that with the time under tension. We did 20s, I think 22 and a halves last week. This is why it's good to know what you're doing, because then you can gauge what you think you can do. And you can make notes. That's another thing that we were starting to do on Lift More, is we would take on the paper, and like if something was really hard or we should go up next time, we could make notes on that. And so if you are not tracking, you can't do any of that. Again, I will try and do this every week, because I forget in between how hard something was. It sounds like somebody's shooting, but we're in the country, so I lost my train of thought. And then we're going to go back when we finish week 8, which I'm terrified for week 8. We're going to go back and we're going to repeat week 7, because I read that week 8 of Lift More is really hard. I don't think that is a good comparison if we go from this into the hardest week of Lift More. And I will compare them. We did measure our certain areas, and we'll see if that changed at all. But I can tell you my VO2 max is 1.6 or 7 points away from being in superior. I am so close to superior. Superior, I'm like 30, I don't remember, It's 30, I forget what the number is, and I'm a 3. And I need to be at like 34 or 35 to be in superior. My VO2 max is going up. Everything is going up that I want to go up, and things are going down. So I feel like this program is doing its job. I am focused on protein. I am not macro counting everything. I am not calorie counting. But I do try to be aware and conscious. So I'm not going to be the perfect one that'll be like my before and after, and I was in a calorie deficit and I didn't know. I'm following the THM plan. I have cheats a couple of times here and there, so I'm not expecting perfection because I'm not giving it 100% like what the beta testers gave it, but I'm giving it the same as I was doing with Lift More and the 4 weeks of focus and hammer and chisel and all of those. So I feel like if this program is actually helping the numbers that I'm seeing so far, I feel like it is a good program. If you have any comments about this, or if you're doing it, I would love to know what you think, because I am so shocked at how hard a 25-minute program is that includes the warm-up and the stretch at the end, and it's just a couple of minutes, but still, how hard he does make it. In core cardio, I have not been sore. A lot of people in the groups are talking about how sore they are. They are so sore over and over and over, to the point where a few of us are questioning, are we even doing this right? My friend that I'm doing this with, she's a little bit more sore than me. And I don't know if it's all of the supplements that I take that are helping me not be sore. I do take creatine with HMB, electrolytes, amino acids, BCAAs, and some other things. So I'm not sure if my supplements are making that big of a difference. I have been a little bit sore. I think I have finally learned through his guidance how to do a chest press for the first time, and my friend agrees as well. I think we've been doing them up here, and it's supposed to be down here. Of course they are, but it was his cues that cued us into that we were probably not doing it properly. So one day when I stretched, I could feel a little soreness, and then after week 5, day 1, or I think week 5, the first day of legs, I can't remember if it's day 1 or day 2, I could feel a little bit in my hamstrings. But the core cardio is pretty hard, and twice my abs have been sore from core cardio. Because people have complained that there's only one real cardio core day, it still works. So anyway, that is my week 5 somewhat review again. I need to try to do these every week because I will forget. I've already forgotten what made the 2 days dirty mofos. I forget exactly what was in it that made it so hard, because he gave it that name, I did not. That is it. I will be back with week 6, dreading week 7 and week 8 already, but if it's working, I'll keep doing this. Okay, bye. Sorry, it's not letting me click finish.